What is up, ladies and gents? It is your boy James Eakes, and today guys I'm bringing you guys an in-depth Garchomp guide for VGC 2021. I pretty much had the idea that I wanted to hit rank 1 on the ladder with Garchomp because I think he's sick, I think he's a bit underrated, and I wanted to show you guys that he is still a very viable ground type in the format. In this video guys, we're going to be going over great teammates for Garchomp. We're going to be going over a lot of common examples of Garchomp sets, and we're going to be going over the basics, all his stats, abilities, and why he's good, and why he might be better than his big rival Landorus T. And guys, if you want to make sure to catch the rank 1 challenge, come and check me out over on Twitch, guys. I stream 5 days a week. We've got a bunch of awesome holiday plans for December, and if you're wondering why I have blue hair, you can come ask me over on the Twitch, baby. So, guys, with that, let's get into the guide. So let's do a little bit of an introduction to Garchomp. Garchomp is a pseudo-legendary, just like Salamence, Dragonite, etc. So he has 600 base stats, which is very high. His ground dragon typing is extremely strong typing. Ground is one of the best offensive types in the game. And the max moves that he gets, so Max Quake and Max Wormwind, are both going to raise his special defense and then lower their attack, so raising his overall bulk on both sides tremendously. His speed is his biggest seller, I would say, being a 102 base stat, making him faster than base 100s, outspeeding things like Landorus, Entei, Charizard, Regieleki, Arcanine, you name it. Garchomp stat-wise really doesn't have any weaknesses. He's blessed with great stat distribution. His move pool is extremely solid as well. He has lots of coverage. He's got Swords Dance to set up. Unfortunately, no Dragon Dance. He does have a 4 times weakness to Ice, he's weak to Fairy, and Dragon as well. So that's where we start getting into the downsides of Garchomp. I honestly think his biggest downside, though, is his abilities. His abilities are honestly both very lackluster. Rough Skin and Sandveil are really not anything to write home about. They're not crazy strong abilities like Salamence, Intimidate and Moxie, Metagross Clear Body, Dragapult Clear Body, Tyranitar Sandstream, etc. Those are all just extremely strong abilities. Garchomp's also susceptible, to being weakened down by Intimidate spam, and I think that is where Garchomp's weaknesses lie. The age-old question with Garchomp is always, why would I use Garchomp over Landorus T? Unfortunately, in a lot of circumstances, Landorus is the better option, but Garchomp has a few things that make him better than Landorus. And when building a team comp around Garchomp, you need to capitalize on these strengths that Garchomp does have. Landorus is stronger both attack and special attack wise, and his ability Intimidate is obviously one of the best abilities in the game. And he's immune to ground, which we've talked about. Ground is one of the best offensive typings in the game, so being immune to it gives Landorus a really big edge in the meta. But Garchomp is faster by a whopping 11 points, breaking the 100 base speed tier barrier, which is massive. Garchomp's also bulkier in every way. He has more HP, more defense, and more special defense. Garchomp's bulk and speed allow him to be more flexible in item choices, I think, because Landorus usually wants to hold an Assault Vest to make up for its bulk, or a Choice Scarf to make up for its speed, and Garchomp has the leg up on both of those, so I think Garchomp can get a little bit more creative with the items. Albeit, Garchomp does use a Choice Scarf and an Assault Vest very well. Garchomp being more bulky, I think, can utilize Dynamax extremely well, boosting up his bulk to survive more attacks. And I also want to point out that Garchomp isn't weak to water and ice like Landorus, making Garchomp a little bit better against more bulky water types, especially if they are not holding an ice move, such as Suicune, Milotic. They don't always have that ice move, and that makes Garchomp a little bit stronger against them than Landorus would be. Before we get into the best teammates, guys, I just want to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It goes a long way in supporting the channel, and drop a like on this video, guys. It gets the video out to more people, and will hopefully help the channel grow. Once again, guys, with teammates, we want to cover for his weaknesses as well as amplify his strength. An obvious partner, I would say, is Tapu Fini. Tapu Fini resists ice and is immune to dragon, which is great defensive synergy. Tapu Fini also sets up the Misty Terrain, stopping Garchomp from being put to sleep or burned. But an issue with Fini, though, is that Misty Terrain will weaken Garchomp's dragon attacks against non-levitating Pokemon. I don't think Garchomp actually 100% needs to run a dragon move, but if you are running the dragon move, you always got to think about the Misty Surge. Feeny could go a hard support set too. We could see a Heal Pulse, Swagger, Dual Screens, or Haze to get rid of Intimidate drops. A lot of cool support that Feeny could provide to Garchomp. Another great partner, guys, I see is Clefairy for just basic, obvious reasons. Clef can bulk up Chomp with Friend Guard. Follow Me is going to help Garchomp be able to get up Swords Dances much easier, and it's going to protect him from other scary dragon types like Dragapult. When building Garchomp, you've got to be wary of not stacking too big of an ice weakness to your team, but Garchomp does synergize amazingly well with a bunch of flying types in the meta. Being able to freely Earthquake next to your teammates is extremely valuable, especially because Garchomp doesn't get high horsepower. He would have to rely on Stomping Tantrum, which is a lot lower base power than both Earthquake and high horsepower. So Zapdos has historically always been great with Garchomp. It's a very bulky flying type that I think works very well offensively with Garchomp. You know, things like Max Airstream, electric moves to hit the water types, and then Celesteela has also worked great with Garchomp in the past. I mean, the fact that you can Earthquake next to it, you resist all the weaknesses Garchomp has, and he covers for Celesteela's weaknesses as well. And then even Celesteela in the past would run Wide Guard to help protect Garchomp from things like Dazzling Gleam and Hyper Voice. These are the more offensive options, but Thundurus with Defiant can be an absolutely great hyper offense partner for Garchomp, and then Tornadus can be an amazing support mon next to Garchomp, setting up the Tailwind, taunting Trick Rooms, Icy Winds, Heat Waves, all that kind of stuff. I think that they are very, very good with Garchomp. And guys, some honorable mentions here are definitely the Rotoms. You know, Rotom Wash, Rotom Heat, they're immune to Earthquake, and their typings are very, very good against a lot of common things. So Rotoms are also very good. For the example sets portion of the video, guys, I'm going to have every single set that I talk about in a Poke Paste in the description below so that you guys can try it out on Pokemon Showdown or throw it in the damage calc for yourself. So be aware of that down in the description. And I'm going to bring up the options of every single attack for Assault Vest Garchomp, but it probably comes down to your team's specific needs, so I can't 100% recommend a certain coverage move. And apologies for it saying lots of coverage moves twice in the slide, my bad, homies. I think a ground move, a dragon move, and a rock move are probably necessary on most Assault Vest Garchomps. Earthquake, Dragon Claw, and Rock Slide are the most obvious, but you do have some options. Stomping Tantrum, Dragon Rush, or Stone Edge. I don't like Dragon Rush, but anyway, we've got a big plethora of options in terms of other types. We've got things like Iron Head to hit the fairies and raise your defense. We've got Brick Break for the option to max Knuckle. That can be very paramount if your team is really, really weak to Intimidate spam. We've got Poison Jab as another option for fairies like Feeny, where Iron Head wouldn't be super effective, but the max move isn't too useful and it's weaker. And then, oddly enough, I could see a normal move like Max Strike proving really useful on Garchomp to actually give him a form of speed control. I honestly think that's pretty cool. And then finally, we've got the question of Fire Fang or Flamethrower / Fire Blast. And you may be saying, did I actually just say Flamethrower or Fire Blast on Garchomp? And the answer is yes, I did. In formats where Kartana is extremely popular, things like Tecton, Flamethrowers, and Fire Blasts can be amazing to counter Kartana for sure. Fire Fang does more to the popular Assault Vest Kartana, but Kartana often tries to Steel Spike its defenses up, and Flamethrower can really bust right through that. Garchomp will be intimidated more often than it will be snarled, if you want to think of it like that, so maybe the Flamethrower will be even more over there. And yeah, I've got two example Assault Vest Garchomps. One is a fast and bulky Assault Vest Garchomp for max speed to try and get those rock side flinches and stuff like that. It survives Moonblast to max Starfalls from Feeny, stuff like that. And then I've got a slow, bulky offensive Garchomp with more attack. It's adamant, actually. It survives Life Orb, Max Resonance from Blizzard, from G-Max Lapras, 87.5% of the time when you're Dynamax. It survives Adamant, Choice Band, Wicked Blow from Urshifu when you are not Dynamax, and stuff like that. So it's really bulky, it's really strong. Check out those sets down below. Next up, we've got Choice Scarf Garchomp, and honestly, you've got some options whether you want to go Adamant or Jolly. Jolly is going to outspeed Modest Regieleki, which a lot of people are going Modest on Regieleki, and then Adamant, you can be Adamant and still outspeed Dragapult with a Choice Scarf, which is going to boost your damage, and you're going to outspeed one of the most prevalent Pokemon in the game in Dragapult. And honestly, guys, Scarf Garchomp, you know, the Dynamax option is weaker, you know, you're not going to have an item effectively when you Dynamax, but Choice Scarf Garchomp can be an amazing late game sweeper. Last up, guys, we've got the more standard Swords Dance Garchomp. Now, I think you would most likely run something close to max speed and max attack for sweeping, max power, and to be the fastest you can. And I really like the flexibility of Protect on a more standard Garchomp. You know, those two sets we saw before, Scarf and Assault Vest, don't have the option to Protect. So I honestly like that a lot. Protect is amazing in this Dynamax meta. And I think that Garchomp has a lot of flexibility on what item it can run on a standard set like this. I mean, you've got Life Orb for more damage, Sash to guarantee survive, Lumberry to protect yourself from those, you know, burns and sleeps. And honestly, even weakness policy, if you go like a more bulky Swords Dance Garchomp, you Dynamax, you get hit by a fairy move, and then you just start sweeping. So I think that's pretty cool. The only thing about standard Garchomp is it's a weaker standalone Pokemon like Scarf and Assault Vest. You're going to need support. You know, you're going to need something like probably Follow Me or Fake Out or Tailwind, stuff like that to really support Garchomp and allow him to get up that Swords Dance to start the sweep. So for a little Garchomp conclusion, guys, we talked about all of his strengths and weaknesses, and we talked about how he stacks up against Landorus T. You know, he's bulkier and faster. We talked about a lot of good teammates for him, such as Tapu Fini and Clefairy and Zapdos Celesteela, stuff like that. And then we came up with a lot of example sets that, once again, guys, are going to be in the description below for you guys to check out. So guys, I hope you guys had a good time. I hope this video was very educational for you, and I hope that you guys go out there and start clapping the ladder with Garchomp. So guys, once again, I'm going to be doing a rank 1 by the end of the week, or I gift 25 subs over on Twitch. So guys, go drop a follow over on the Twitch channel. We've got really big December plans that I'm going to be announcing over on Twitch, and I'm going to be announcing it in the Discord. There's a link to my Discord down in the description below, guys. So go check that out. We've got more videos coming this December. I love and appreciate you guys, and peace.